scoreline there for Warners Bay in the derby as well. And we move straight into Zone League 1 preview for this round coming up. And Warners Bay do travel to Jesmond tomorrow, where I've gone Jesmond FC 2 to defeat Warners Bay 1. Top 4 clash at Jesmond. Barnsley hosting Cookshill United. Probably should just be the one winner here. Cookshill 4-1 is the tip. They accounted for Barnsley in the first round and they should be able to do the same again here. Nelson Bay at home to Raymond Terrace in the derby. 3-0 for Raymond Terrace to go over to Tomaree and win. Charlestown hosting Stockton. I've gone 2-0 for Stockton to climb back into the top 4, I believe, with Warners Bay losing. That's what I've tipped, so Stockton will go back into the 4 as a result if my tips come to fruition. Katara South versus Beresfield FC, 1-1 draw is the tip there. The only draw that I've tipped all week in Zone League. So Zone League 2, we move on. And there was only one draw last week, so you know this is a competition across all 4 grades. We don't really see too many draws. They do pop up every now and then, but not last week, and I'm predicting the same this week. Hamilton Olympic played Medowie on Friday night. They were 6-2 winners. Medowie, 2 goals it's not bad. Like a lot of times teams will score 2 goals and win or draw, but it's not saying much. When you concede 6 goals, it doesn't matter if you score 2. So Medowie definitely have to step up soon, or they may find themselves relegated to Zone League 3. Which would be pretty detrimental to that club, but I don't know what the issues are, player numbers or anything like that. But Medowie definitely not having the best of year, and it continued last week. Hamilton Olympic back on top of the table. Merewether hosted Muswellbrook, and Muswellbrook they've come from nowhere to be in the top 4, and they won 4-1 last week, and suddenly they're one of the form teams of the comp. University versus New Lambton, 1-0 to New Lambton, coming away with a gutsy win there. Hunter Simba hosted the Westlake Wildcats and were defeated 2-1. Wildcats into second place, and Wallsend FC defeated by Maryland Fletcher 1-0. A big result for Maryland. Tim Mason, the goal scorer there for them. The only goal scorer of the game, 1-0 victory over Wallsend. You can't go wrong. Let's look at this week. New Lambton hosting Hamilton Olympic. I've gone 4-1 for Olympic. Pretty simple tip there. University hosting Hunter Simba. I've gone 4-3 for Hunter Simba away from home. I believe they'll try and climb back into the top 4 as a result. Match of the round sees Muswellbrook FC host Wallsend FC. I've gone Muswellbrook 2-0. I really like their form at the moment, and at home it's a long trip up there to Muswellbrook, and I consider them favourites, to be quite honest with you. I don't know if this is on, I think it's on Saturday, this game, tomorrow. I'll be up at Singleton, so I'm near about Muswellbrook, but still not close enough. Definitely looking forward to hearing who wins that one, because it's quite an important game in the context of the season, especially for Wallsend's promotion chase. If they finish top, they'll get promoted. That's what normally happens in these divisions. So it's a big game for both clubs. Medowie hosting Merewether, 3-1 for Merewether to get back into some winning form. And Maryland Fletcher hosting the Westlake Wildcats. Maryland picked up a big win last week, but I've tipped them to lose this one, 3-1. Westlakes, I'm really impressed with them at the moment. And definitely still a club that have come from a very slow start to the season, and that they definitely want their spot back in Zone League 1, make no doubt about that. Zone League 3. Last weekend, Argentine United 4 defeating Edgeworth 1. The top of the table team continuing that form. Cahaiba were 1-0 winners over Bulwarra. That's not true. That's an incorrect result. It was 2-1 to Bulwarra, so I don't know where I got that from, but Cahaiba's goal scorer Neil McAllister off the bench. Decent win for Bulwarra, And Mayfield hosted Abermain and were defeated 7-3. It's one of those scorelines. And Hamilton Azuri 4 defeating RAF Williamtown FC 0. And that is a big win for Hamilton Azuri. I probably could have got the goal scorers off their Facebook page, but I didn't consult the Azuri Facebook page for said goal scorers, and a very, very biased review of the game, no doubt. They've got the bye this week, so all pubs in the vicinity of Smith Park and the Hamilton area, look out. Gotta love Hamilton Azuri. So they got the bye. The RAF, the team they defeated, host Cahaiba FC. I've gone for Cahaiba winning 2-1. Top 4 team. Cahaiba definitely a team that like the low scoring games, I've noticed as of late. Abermain versus Dudley Redhead, I've gone Abermain 3-2. Bulwer Lawn hosting Argentine United, I've gone 4-1 for Argentine. Top of the table team, they should get the job done there despite being away from home. And Edgeworth hosting Mayfield, I've gone 3-1. Mayfield just that's probably a friendly tip in their favour, because it probably might be 5 or 6-1 to be completely honest, based on their form. So that's it for the Zone League show this week. Very short, sweet, job done. There's some catch-up games next week. I don't know if I'll pop into any. It's been very cold as of late, and you know, the idea of sitting at a Zone League game in freezing conditions, it's not the best, but had fun going out to Maryland Fletcher, so you never know, do you? But we'll see what happens next week. Good luck to all teams competing this weekend in the Zone League, and I'll see you next week for another episode of the Zone League show. I'm Ty Stedman, and I will see you then.